Hello and welcome to the CHING. Now in the CHING we're going to learn all about Chinese culture. Starting today is our first episode ever, so I'm going to give you a brief introduction to the world of CHING. Okay, we start with Chinese culture. Chinese culture includes a lot of literature, Chinese literature, masterpieces, thousands, hundreds of thousands of them. So, some smart guy invented this method of categorizing them into about 5 parts. Now, among these 5 parts, there are 2 religions, and with the rest of them all being sort of clubs. Or you can think of them as learning or knowledge assembling clubs. And anyways, we start with, altogether there are 5, as I have said, and the first one is Confucianism. Now, I don't believe that Confucianism has any sort of symbol. Anyways, Confucianism was started by Confucius, named after him, and so Confucius stated that what he tried to teach people was this sort of connection between society and a person. So that's why he was widely famous in his time, and why so many rulers liked him. So next we have what we call Buddhism. Now, Buddhism was started by Siddhartha Gautama, and we can all know that the symbol of Buddhism is this. And don't mistake it with a swastika. Anyways, so as you can see, Buddhism is a very common religion within China. So it is now sort of many people in China believe in it, and it sort of has become a half-national religion. And so Buddhism was started by Siddhartha Gautama, and it's mainly on the cultivation of the heart. Okay, and then next we have Taoism. Taoism is, I believe, mistakenly believed of having a symbol of this. Now this is called a Taiji. This is more of a symbol of the Book of Changes. Now, Taoism should not take this symbol. And I don't believe that it was taken by Lao Tzu, who started it. Now, Taoism preaches how we should communicate with the universe, and how the universe can communicates back with us. And so, this is about what the Taoism is all about. And then we have Chinese medicine. Now, Chinese medicine is right now getting very famous through acupuncture, I believe. And Chinese medicine was created by this person called the Yellow Emperor. He was sort of one of the first emperors there ever was in the whole of China, back in the times where history was mixed up with all of these legends coming through. And so this period of time is very, very faint. We do not know a lot about this period until, of course, the first dynasty period, which was the Xia. And, of course, the Chinese medicine, we should all know basic facts, but anyways, it is to try to heal people, basically. Then we have what we now know better as the Book of Changes, or the I Ching. Now, the I Ching is arguably the greatest book ever invented by any Chinese person. And actually it was created by 3 people, and they're called now the 3 saints. These 3 people stretch across the timeline by quite a bit. At the beginning, I'm just going to erase this. The first person is known as Fu Xi. He's sort of like the Adam of Chinese legends. He would have been back about 7,500 BC. So let's put him here with a F to represent him, Fu Xi. Let's go with 7,500 BC, or BC, does not matter. Then we go across the timeline until about 1152 BC. This was when Zhou Wenwang was born. Let's just write a Z to represent Zhou Wenwang. He was the person who created the 3rd dynasty of China, which was the Zhou dynasty. So Zhou was born in 1152 BC, while the Zhou dynasty was established in Zhou dynasty was established in 1046 BC. This is when Zhou dynasty was established. Well, actually, Zhou died 10 years before that. So he died in 1056 BC, and his campaign against the violent Shang dynasty called that the emperor of the Shang dynasty at that time was called the Shangzhou king, and so his crusade against this evil guy ended in 1056, and it was continued by his son Zhou king, and then over here until here we have Confucius with a C. Confucius, he was in a period of time called the 春秋战国. This is a very long period in the Zhou dynasty when the Zhou dynasty lost its central control over, and the nobles who were in the Zhou dynasty sort of just rebelled and didn't care about the emperor anymore. So Confucius was born in this sort of society, and so he was born in 551 BC. Right, this guy was born in 501, and the period of the 春秋战国 period began in around 770 BC. These guys are all BC, but then you can see the large gaps between them. Thousands of years or a few hundreds of years. And so altogether, these three were able to compose this great book we now know as the Book of Changes. So what were their contributions to it? Well, Fu Xixi was the first one to start gathering these ideas about the Book of Changes. He created the pre-time 8 trigrams, also by looking at the various phenomenons of his time, altogether 8 of them. Then Zhou and King created the post-time 8 trigrams, and these were using the same symbols as the pre-time 8 trigrams, except they were in a different order by then. He recreated them through the changes of the 4 seasons. Then Confucius. Confucius invented the 10 wings. Now these 10 wings are simply sort of you can say a car. You want to go somewhere, you don't want to walk. So then these 10 wings sort of you can begin with looking at the 10 wings, because Confucius was sort of just writing down these 10 wings to help people understand more about the Book of Changes. So these were the contributions of these 3 great saints. And I guess that's all for today, and thank you all for listening. See you next time.